Okay, hello one and all. Welcome to Electronic Circuit Simulation online audit course. Today's topic is op-amp based circuit instrumentation amplifier. So we will simulate instrumentation amplifier in LT-Spice. Now let us look at the outline for this lecture. Okay, so the outline for today's lecture will be: first we'll overview the op-amp as a differential amplifier. Then we'll see the concept of common mode and differential mode voltages. Then we'll see their effect on differential amplifier. Next, we will see what is CMRR. Then we'll interface a bridge circuit with a differential amplifier. Then we'll move on to the limitations of a differential amplifier using op-amp. Then we'll see why we require the concept of instrumentation amplifier. And finally, we'll see the interfacing of the bridge circuit with instrumentation amplifier. So these are the topics which we are going to cover. Mostly we'll cover these topics in LT Spice. So let us start. Okay, so kindly consider this bridge circuit over here. So you have RA, RB, RC, RD resistances. Here we consider RA, RB and RC resistances to be fixed equal to R, and we will consider RD resistance to be a variable resistor. So basically what are we trying to do is, let's consider RD as a temperature sensor. Uh, whose resistance will change as per the temperature. So this RD is temperature sensitive. So this is given to an amplifier which will amplify this change in the resistances. So RA, RB, RC are fixed. The only change in the resistance in this circuit is of RD. So let's say the resistance value initially was 1K. Due to change in the temperature, the resistance value has changed to 1.01K. So what we need to do is, we need to amplify only the change in this resistance, which is reflected in the form of this voltage V1 and V2. So V1 will be a fixed value since RA and RB are same. V2 will change slightly because it is nothing but RD upon RC plus RD. So this V2 will change due to change in temperature, and this change in temperature has to be amplified by this amplifier. And next, let us see. So let us say there is a change in the temperature. So this change is reflected in the change in the resistance. So the V2 value will change, V1 value will be fixed. So this change in the voltage is amplified, picked up by this amplifier. This change will be very small, so this amplifier should be very precise. And the output of the amplifier is driven to the display element, which will display that temperature. So let's say that due to the change in temperature, the temperature has changed by, let's say, 2 degrees Celsius. 2 degrees Celsius, and the corresponding change, this 2 degrees Celsius change should be reflected at the output. So let's say that the current temperature was 27, and this 2 degrees Celsius there is a change. So the display element should display. Let's consider the current temperature was around 27 degrees Celsius. So 27 degrees, and with this 2 degree increase in the temperature has to be reflected at the output at the display element. So display element should show 29 degrees Celsius. So that's how the motivation behind this logic is. So once again I repeat, so this is my bridge network, which will be unbalanced only if we have a change in. So RD is actually a temperature sensor. So let me overwrite over here. RD is temperature sensor over here. So RD is my temperature sensor. So whose it's a resistive element basically. So it will change its resistance value as soon as the temperature will change. So this change is reflected in V1 and V2, and those are given as inputs to this amplifier. and the amplifier will drive the display element. The display might be a 7-segment LED, so that might display the correct temperature, that is 29 degrees Celsius. So today's lecture is about amplifying this change in the temperature and simulating this example. Then this amplifier, first we will tackle it as a differential amplifier using op-amp, and then we will see using instrumentation amplifier. And then accordingly you will this amplifier output will be driven by, will be given to a display element. So this is the whole concept of this today's topic. So let us directly start. Okay, so we are into the LT Spice environment. Now what we will do is we will simulate that bridge circuit. So for that bridge we require 4 resistors. So one resistor will be here, another over here. Let me just yeah, zoom out a little. Then we place another resistor over here, next over here, and then we have to join them together. Okay, now power supply we can externally connect. We have to connect the ground and the power supply. So let me just select the power supply. So that is voltage. So quickly I will select the power supply and label it. So this is ground, and this I will label it as VCC, or name it as V supply. And let me give this value around let's say 10 volts. And now let me label this also. So this is my bridge network whose supply, this is V supply, and I'll click on OK. So I place this, and below I have to ground this also. So I'll connect it to this ground. And I have to also mark, remember we have to also mark V1 and V2. That is, we can mark VA or VB. So let us do that. Okay, so let us label these things. So this I will call it as V1, and this I will call it as V2. So let me label this node as V1, and let me label this node as V2. And let me rename this as RA, RB, RC, and RD. So let us keep all the resistances as fixed values, that is RA, RB, and RC. So this I am keeping it as 1 kilo ohm. RA is 1 kilo ohm. Next RB is also 1 kilo ohm, and RC is 1 kilo ohm. Let us say that RD value due to change in temperature has changed from 1 to 1.01 kilo ohm. So we are simulating the environment that RD is a temperature sensor. So let us write over here, RD is a temperature sensor. So we are simulating it. Let us consider RD as a temperature sensor. So let me write it, add it on the screen over here. Yeah, so let us consider RD is the temperature sensor whose values of resistance will change as per temperature changes. So in this case, let us say that due to that change in the temperature, the resistance has changed by 0.01 kilo ohms. Now, what we have to do is we have to simply simulate the circuitry. It's very simple. So what we will do is we'll first go to simulate, click on run, and do DC operating point analysis. So this is my DC operating point. and click on OK. Okay, so I have done that. Let me just check one thing. Okay, so let us give this value as 15 volts. We have taken earlier, later as 15. So let us give this as 15 volts and now again run it. So we have got the values. Let me expand these things. So we have got the value of V1 and V2 as follows. So V1 value is around 7.5 and V2 is around 7.53731. So let me copy these things. So V1 is 7.5 and V2 is this much. So let me just write these values over here. V1 is coming out to be 7.5 volts and V2 came out to be this value over here. This values are coming from LT Spice simulations. So these are LT Spice simulated values. So let me write over here. These are simulated values. Okay. So now let us theoretically verify. So basically V1 is given by the formula. Okay. So as per the voltage division rule, V1 formula is given by RB divided by RA plus RB. Now since all the into V supply, so that is around 15 volts. So this will be multiplied by 15. So since all the values RA and RB are same, so this will be directly 7.5 volts. So this is as per the formula. This is the value of V1 we got 7.5 and it's matching with the result. Now let us see what is the value of V2. So V2 is given by RD divided by RD plus RC. So let me just change one thing over here. This is the whole multiplied by. So this will be multiplied by again supply voltage. So let us calculate that. So we have to calculate 1.01 kilo ohms into 15 divided by 1.01 kilo ohms plus 1k. So that value, if you work it out with the calculator, that value came out to be 7.53731. Okay, so that is the value which we are getting. So we write it over here. Okay, let me add the brackets also over here so that there is no confusion. Okay, so according to the formula, that is the voltage division rule, the value of V2 is 7.53731, and exactly it is the same value which we got from the simulated value. So this example is called as the bridge example. This is to explain several concepts. So we'll name this as bridge example. We'll add it over here, its name. So what have we achieved over here? So what we have done is, so we have considered a bridge network wherein the three resistors are same, that is RA, RB and RC, and RD value is slightly different due to the temperature change. Over here the example is pretty simple, but it teaches you a lot. So here we have considered RD to be a temperature sensor whose resistance value is changing as per the change in the temperature, and we have considered that change as a 0.01 kilo ohm. So in this case, we have simulated the circuit. We are getting the V1 and V2 voltages as 7.5 and 7.53731, the values, and it's working very fine. Now let us move on to the next topic. Before that, let us save this example. So let us go to file and save as. Always it's a good practice of saving this file. Now, next what we will do is we will try to define certain terms. There are certain terms called as common mode voltage, differential mode voltage. So I thought let us give you some example first, and from this example let us explain you all what is the common mode voltage and what is the differential mode voltage rather than telling you the definitions. So let us do that. Okay, so to save some time, I've already written certain things. So we have got the value of V1 as 7.5. So we and V2 as 7.53731. So we can write V2 again as 7.5 plus 0.03731. So that is same as 7.53731 volts. 31 volts. So we have written it in the different form only. Now let us see the next concept. Okay, I have written certain things. So let us consider V1 minus V2. Let us subtract V2 and from V1. So if you subtract V2 from V1, so what you will get is, so V2 is this number 7.537 and V1 is this number. So simply you will get this 0.0373 volts. So basically this difference between the two signals, that is V2 and V1, is to be amplified by an amplifier. So which is this concept which we have learned over here. So the difference between V1 and V2 has to be amplified. And so we define this definitions of a common mode signal and a differential mode signal. Okay, so this V1 minus V2, which is the subtraction of these two voltages, that is 7.53731 minus 7.5 will give you this small voltages. And basically many times this is the voltage which an amplifier has to amplify, because this difference represents the relevant information, and in this case the relevant information is the change in temperature. And let us go and check for the definitions for the common mode voltage and the differential mode voltage. So common mode voltage is defined as the in this case, if there are two inputs, the two inputs should be in the same phase and of the same amplitude, and that is defined as the common mode voltage. In most of the cases, the common mode voltage is the unwanted or the noise signal. Mathematically, it is defined as V1 plus V2 upon 2. Next, we will define the differential mode voltage. Differential mode voltage is defined as if there are two signals V1 and V2, their amplitude might be same, but there might be a phase difference between the two. So let's say V1 is 5 volts AC voltage, 5 volts 0 degree phase shift, and V2 will be 5 volts 180 degree phase shift. So either their magnitudes might be different or there will be a phase difference between them. So such signals are called as differential mode signals, and mathematically we define it as Vd is equal to V1 minus V2. So in this example, roughly we can say, very loosely we can say, the common mode signal is your 7.5, which is not the relevant information which we want, and the differential mode signal is this. So this 0.037 can be written as 37.31 millivolt. So this differential mode voltage is the voltage which we want this amplifier over here to amplify always. And this amplifier will study now next as a differential amplifier using op amps. So out of this, what information do we get? That due to change in temperature, the change in the voltage which we have got over here is this. That is V2 minus V1. And this V2 minus V1 has to be amplified by this amplifier. And as for the definitions, this is your differential mode signal. So an amplifier has to always amplify the differential mode signal, that is a differential mode voltage, and always reject the common mode voltage. In this case, the common mode voltage is 7.5, which is of no use to us right now because that doesn't contain any significant amount of information. The information is present in this signal. There is a difference between the two signals. I hope this topic is clear and you're comfortable with the definitions of common mode and differential mode signal from this example. Now let us move ahead with the topic. So So in summary, this is what we have discussed so far in LT Spice. This is just the description written. I will give you around 5 seconds to have a look at it. We have already discussed all the points in LT Spice environment. So this is just a revision. So here also it is described basically that the difference between the two signals is the important information which has to be amplified by this amplifier. So next what we will do is next we will study the already we in the last lecture we have seen the differential amplifier. So we will just overview the differential amplifier using op-amp next. So before moving to the differential amplifier, from this scenario, it is very clear that we only have to amplify the difference between the two signals. So that's what is elaborated over here. So we are looking for an amplifier which amplifies the difference between the two voltages. So that's the role of a differential amplifier. Next, we will quickly see a concept of common mode rejection ratio, that is CMRR. So what is the CMRR? So CMRR is the ability of an amplifier to reject the common mode signal and to amplify the differential mode signal. So here AD is the differential mode signal and AC is the common mode signal. So basically your CMRR of any amplifier should be very high for it to be a good differential amplifier. So that's the definition of CMRR, which will come in handy. Right now, we just use it for the information. Right now, we are not using CMRR much. So this is just for your information. Now let us move on to our differential amplifier topic. So this differential amplifier we have simulated in the last lecture. So basically, it is a op-amp as a subtractor also. And let us see that now. So this is op-amp as a differential amplifier. In the last lecture, we have already studied its functionality. Now let us explore it further. So concentrate on this formula. We have Vout is given by Rf upon R1 into Va minus Vb. If we keep R1 equal to R2 and R3 equal to Rf. Now in this case, we have all the values as same. Now let us do one thing. Let us keep Rf and R1 as, let's say, 12. Both we keep it as, let's say, 20k. So we'll keep this value as 20k. R1 also will keep it as 20k. I am not simulating this circuitry since it is available in the last session of op-amps. So this was already recorded before in the previous session. So we are just using this now. So right now what I have done is I have made R1, we have to make R1 equal to R2. So this should be around 20. Okay, so if we do that, what we will get is we also might have to make R1 equal to R2 and R3 should be equal to RF. So we have to make RF as this I will make it as 10 only, R1 also as 10 only, and let us make R3 as 20. So right now it is very clear. RF upon R1 will be 2 and VA minus VB is what is given over here. Let us change this to 5. So VA and VB is 5 and 3. So this will be 5 minus 3, that is 2. And your RF upon R1 is also 2. So V out should come out to be 4. So let us quickly simulate this. And let us check the value of V out. So the V out value is coming out to be indeed close to 4. So you can check it over here. V out value is coming close to 4. So this amplifier, what it does is, it amplifies the difference between the two input signals, that is VA and VB, with a gain of over here. The gain is kept as 2. So let me add over here. In this case, my gain, which is equal to RF divided by R1, is 2 over here. So let me add that information over here. So in this case, the op-amp will work as a differential amplifier perfectly well. Okay, so just we have refreshed the concept of op-amp as a differential amplifier. Now what we will do is, the earlier example we have simulated a bridge example. Now we'll copy this circuit over here, and instead of giving two external inputs, that is VA and VB, we'll directly give this V1 and V2 as the inputs. So let us do that. Okay, so I have to remove certain things from here. So let me, this is not required now. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. And let me push this over here, and let me also push this over here. So currently we have this scenario. What I will do is, from this bridge example, I will copy this circuit from here. So to do that, I'll minimize this, and there is a knob over here for copying the circuitry. So I'll copy this as it is. So this rectangular box is selected, and I'll drag it and paste it over here as it is. So it is as simple as you can get. Okay. So we are ready now. So what we will do next is, we will remove the unwanted stuff. We will remove this VA and VB. So instead of VA and VB, we will have here V1 and V2. Okay, so we'll remove this VA and VB over here. And okay, so this is removed and this is removed. So we have to slightly change the terminology now. So this V2 will go over here, and this V1 will go over here. So we have to make those adjustments. So this is my V2, and V1 I have to consider it as uh, what I will do is, I'll take it from here. Okay, so this is my, I have applied V1 from here and V2 from here directly. So I have to remodify the formula. So here it will be, instead of V2 minus V1. Instead of VA and VB, now I have written in terms of V2 and V1. So what we have done is, we have interfaced this bridge circuit with this differential amplifier, and now most of the practical situations, this is the way it is done. The inputs of the differential amplifier are not taken directly externally from the voltage sources, is taken from the bridge network like this. So let me just name it as the bridge example, the bridge circuit. So this is my bridge circuit. Let me just write it over here. So this is my bridge circuit over here. So what I will do is, I'll slightly modify the gain now. So let me, right now the gain is 2 of this differential amplifier. Let me make this gain as around 10. So how to do that? So for that, I will change the value of R1 and R2 to 1K. So R1 is 1K, R2 is also 1K, and let us make RF and R3 as 10K. So R3 and RF will be around 10K. Hence, the gain of the amplifier will become 10 automatically, because Vout is given by RF upon R1 into V2 minus V1. So RF upon R1 is around 10. So hence the gain become 10 now. So now what we will do next is, we will try to simulate this. We already know the value of V1 and V2. Let us bring those values over here. So let us bring those simulated values. So V1 and V2 from the previous example, we already have got those values. So we got those value as 7.5 and 7.53731. So this is my amplifier network. So this amplifier network should amplify the difference between V1 and V2. So let us simulate this, and let us check whether we are getting the proper voltages or no. So before that, I have to also copy the supply over here. So I'll copy this supply voltage from here to here. And okay, now we are ready to simulate this. So we'll click on run. Okay, so we can check the output voltage over here. So V1 and V2 values have drastically changed. As you can see, the V1 and V2 value has changed a lot. So let me just remove this. So this we got the simulated values. So when only bridge, so this was the values with only bridge circuit. So these values which we have written over here, we have got with only the bridge circuit, but now we have interfaced the bridge circuit with this amplifier. And now what the values we are getting is totally different. So earlier we were getting it this, and now we are getting it this value. So these are totally different values. So let us write them one by one. Here we are getting V1, the new value of V1 as follows. So V1 will be around the new value of V1 will be this. Let me just add this value over here. So the new value of V1 is this, and the value of similarly the value of V2 is coming out to be. I'll copy this number over here. So the new value of V2 is this over here. Okay, so this is a very important observation. So this I will write one more statement over here. These are also the simulated values, but after interfacing bridge circuit with differential amplifier. So these are also the simulated values, but these values are after simulating the differential, after interfacing the bridge circuit with the differential amplifier. So what has happened basically? So that is a problem. So this problem is called as the loading effect. And now let us also note down the output voltage value. Actually, output voltage value will be not so important because the input is only getting distorted. So let me just write for a record the output value which we got over here. So the output value V out was equal to this number over here. So maybe this value is the output value as per the that is V1 and V2 might be correct, but it doesn't matter because V1 and V2 itself is wrong. Let us check that. So V2 is 7.20805 minus V1 is 7.18426. So this difference has to be multiplied with 10. So we will get a value which is coming out to be 0.2379. So theoretically we are getting the value as 0.2379, and practically also we are getting the same nearby result. So it's correct, no problem. The differential amplifier is working properly, but the major problem is over here. So let me just draw one this thing. So this over here, this value which I have marked it with a red box, this is the problem. We were supposed to get this. We were supposed to get V1 and V2 as this, but the moment we connect the bridge network to the differential amplifier, the value of V1 and V2 has drastically changed. So this effect is called as loading effect. So this is a problem in case of interfacing this bridge network with the differential amplifier. So this problem will be resolved later using instrumentation amplifier, but right now we have to address this problem. So I hope you all have understood this problem and recognize its limitations. So V1 and V2, the input only is getting affected, as soon as we connect it to the differential amplifier. So we cannot use this differential amplifier directly to amplify the difference between the two signals in such cases. So we have to go for another circuitry. So let us do that. Let us see some theory about this. So this is the problem. This is the what we have just now seen. I'll give you some around 5 seconds to have a look at it. So this is just the theory which we have just now described in LT Spice. Just now made you understand this. So this circuit is actually working as a differential amplifier, but it is not amplifying the correct difference between the input signals. So here the input signals are getting loaded by this interface between the bridge circuit and this differential amplifier circuit. So that is what is described in this page in theory. So why this problem is coming? In short, I will describe. So this problem is coming because of the limited input impedance of this differential amplifier. So the resistance seen from the V2 terminal is R3 and R4, and this is the resistance should be large to avoid this loading effect. But due to finite low input impedance of this differential amplifier, we have such problem. And by the way, the both V2 and the V1 terminal see it differently. The input impedance are slightly different. So for the V1, the input impedance is R1, and for V2, the input impedance is R3 plus R4. So somehow we need to improve the input impedance of the differential amplifier network. So that is the problem in short. We will see it in detail. So this is the quick summary of whatever we have seen so far. Let me just adjust this properly. Yeah. So we have seen a bridge network interfaced with a differential amplifier. So there were two difficulties with the differential amplifier. Its input impedance was not large enough, so we had a loading effect. So V1 and V2, when we connected directly over here from the bridge circuit, you have the values were changing. And the common mode signal is not exactly negligible. So that is another problem. So to address these two problems, the circuit which will look is this. This is normally a improvement over the differential amplifier. This amplifier which you see on your screens is a differential amplifier. Okay, so that is our next topic of discussion, differential amplifier. Okay, we will begin with the analysis of this this instrumentation amplifier shortly. So what we will do is, instead of we are not discussing any theory behind it, what we will do is we will directly implement the entire circuit over here in LT Spice, and then we'll simulate it, and then we'll interface with the bridge network, and then we'll come back again to this instrumentation amplifier. So let us go directly to our in the LT Spice environment, and let us directly simulate this circuitry. Okay. Okay, so what we have done is we are directly jump into the different instrumentation amplifier. This is famously called as three-op-amp instrumentation amplifier. So directly, we just to save some time, I have directly implemented it on LT Spice so that we can focus more on the concepts rather than implementing it in LT Spice. So as you can see, both the circuit is similar. So don't just bother about the names of the resistors. Here in LT Spice, we cannot name the two values resistors as R3 and R3. That's why don't care about the names. We will concentrate on their formulas. So what we will do is we will give external voltage V1 and V2 over here, and let us check the validity of the formulas which we are going to use over here. So what we will do is first we will try to give external inputs over here V1 and V2. So let us do that. So let me select two voltages over here, voltage sources. One I will place it over here, and another I will place it over here. and I'll quickly make the connections, and this also similarly, and this also. Okay, and I have already named it as V1 and V2. Let me just label it also. So this will be V1 and this will be labeled as V2. Let us keep V1 and V2 very close to each other. So let us say the V1, V2 value is a DC value of 3 volt, 3.05 volts, and this is of 2.9. Let us say some random example I am taking. I am not taking specifically any this. Uh, this let us say this as around 3.5 and this is around 2.9 volts. Now let us simulate and run this and check whether this design matches properly or no. Oh, before that I have to just connect the power supplies also, VCC and VE. So to do that I will just fast forward the video. Okay, we are back. So what we have missed, I have added that VCC and VE. Just one more thing, the upper op-amp over here, I have just reversed its polarity. So normally op-amp is from minus terminal is plus and the plus terminal is next. And you have VCC over here and VE over here. If you invert this, you will get as plus as above and inverting terminal as below. So your VE will be connected up and VCC will be connected down. So only this care you have to take. Rest all is pretty straightforward, and we'll not worry about why we have took these values over here. We are here to validate those results. So let us check that. Now first let me just write down few formulas. Let me just keep this window screen open halfway through over here like this, and let us check the formulas one by one. So the final formula VO will be equal to R2 upon R1 into VO double dash minus VO dash. So here remember R2 and R1 is this. So this 11.1111 K and this is around 10K. So let me write this formula somewhere. So what I will do is I'll expand this. Not necessary. I'll keep this like this and I'll right click and I will add the comment text. So here I will write V out is equal to R2 divided by R1 into, let me call this as VO2 because we don't have dash term over here, and this as VO1. So this is VO, V0, VO1, sorry, VO2 minus VO1, and we place it on over the screen over here. So this is the final form of formula for a differential amplifier. Oh, sorry, this should be 1. This is the final formula as per the result, as per the theory. And now let us check where is your VO double dash and VO dash. So this is your VO2 and this is your VO1. So let us accordingly mark over here, label it. So let me label this as VO2. So similarly, this will be labeled as VO1. So we have to verify each and everything. That's why we are doing so. Now let us go and check the formula for VO1 and VO2. So VO1 formula will be this. Let me just write it somewhere. Let me just adjust this slightly to the left. Yeah, now it is clear. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to write all the formulas as much as we can. So we'll write this formula VO1 somewhere. So I'll right click and I'll add it. What I will do is I'll fast forward the video so that all those formulas are ready. Okay, so we are back. So what changes we have made is we have written the formula for VO1 and VO2 as per given in the theory. So the V out formula was given as R2 upon R1 into VO double dash up minus VO1 VO dash. So here VO double dash is VO2 and VO dash we have treated it as VO1. And in the circuit diagram it is given here VO double dash and VO dash. So we have also written it over here VO1 and VO2. So one more thing, we are not interested in the working of this differential amplifier right okay, now let us check whether we have written the formulas correctly or no. Okay, so VO1 formula is this 1 plus R3 upon RG into V1 minus R3 upon RG into V2, and VO2 formula is, that is VO double dash, is 1 plus R3 upon RG into V2 minus R3 upon RG into V1. So now what we will do is we'll keep this circuit as it is over here, and we'll try to substitute these values in the expression. So from this circuit diagram, we'll keep this as a reference because the resistor values and all are, we have drawn, I've written the formula as per this diagram over here. This is 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier. So what I was saying before is, without knowing into details how this 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier works, still we can work with this circuitry. We'll work with numbers now. Let us validate those formulas first. So now what we will do is R3 and RG. So here RG value is around 0.5K and R3 value is around 2K. So basically it is 1 plus 2K divided by 0.5K.